Hey guys, it's your girl, The Sweet Physique, and I am back for another Sip and Share episode. So this week we are going to talk about a very important topic that is definitely on a lot of people's minds. There's no necessarily right or wrong way to do it, but it's just something that is definitely a hot topic and it's never going to go away. So we're going to talk about the single parent getting back into the dating game. And that's just maybe getting back into the dating game after having a child and expending majority of their energy into raising that child. Or maybe you just went through a breakup with your significant other, and or maybe the parent of, the other parent of the child. Whatever your situation is, if you've been out the dating game for a while and it involves the child being either the reason or part of the reason, this is why we're talking about this topic. So I know from personal experience that after having a child, being a single parent, or should I say becoming a single parent, and then everything falling on you physically, that takes up a lot of your time. For me personally, my situation, I became a single parent at the age of my baby being 4 months old, and Dad and I parted ways shortly after that. So pretty much most of her infancy stage into toddlerhood, I have been a single mom. And if you've been following my channel, Dad lives out of state. So physically, after he moved back out there, it's been me having to come up with, the itinerary, putting the calendar together, coming up with the day-to-day programming, me zipping back and forth, getting off work, going home, picking her up, taking her to her doctor's appointment, swim class, all of that, while still trying to make money by, being a nurse, and then having the Sweet Physique LLC with me, and my treat business. I've actually added juicing to my regimen now, so I'm really doing a lot to build Baby Girl and I empire. So dating, it's just not the top of the list of priorities. Obviously keeping a roof over our heads and doing what I have to do for that, and then obviously that co-aligning or literally being equally as important as being a good mom to my baby. That's number one. Those are tied, number one. And then me trying to build my empire, me trying to take care of myself, going to the gym, also trying to maybe do a few mental health things, getting my hair done, keeping my nails together, traveling when I can, family time, making sure that she sees her cousins and grows up with them, mommy dates, the YouTube channels, social media, everything. There's just so much going on in my world, on my calendar. I have to sleep, I have to eat, meal prep, all of that. So to be honest, when I look up, majority of the time, my day is gone. It's just gone. And as nice as it would be to date, to get back out there, to put myself in a position to find my forever person, I had to be realistic with myself that I don't have time for that. When I say that, there's always the people make time for what they want to make time for, which I do believe in that concept. But you can only make time for what you want to make time for by reallocating certain things and carving out or utilizing your free time and making that person part of your free time. I don't even have the free time to do that. Literally, my free time, I sleep because I haven't slept. Or reallocate, and I can't reallocate a doctor's appointment. I can't reallocate a swim class. I can't reallocate mommy-daughter time. That has to happen. That's a non-negotiable. I can't reallocate my job, my work, my shift. So there's a lot of things that it's hard for me to shuffle around, and it has to be when it is. hard for me to, I guess, it's hard for me, well, it was hard for me at first to understand, like, I just can't do it all sometimes. Like, when it comes to outside stuff, like, I make it all happen for what needs to happen that is necessary. Mama's gonna make that happen. But when it comes time for me and just doing all these extra things that I want to do, sometimes I just can't do it. I have to say no to certain things so that there's balance and I keep myself sane. And I'm the type of person, I like reciprocity of energy. I want someone to pour into me the way that I want to pour into somebody else. So I don't even want to put myself in a position where someone's pouring into me and I can't pour into them that way, because then it's almost like this isn't a relationship. This is somebody doing for me, and I'm not able to reciprocate that energy. And so I have to be honest with myself. I can't put into dating the energy that I want to, so I don't even want to do it at all. Now, it's one thing to, I go on a date here and there, I kick it here and there, however we make that happen, but I don't want the pressure of trying to make something happen consistently when I know that my time is not going to be consistent. Because I just feel like that's not fair. That's my personality. I don't want to get half energy from somebody else, even if they're a good person. If you're going through something right now, this just isn't your time. We can be friends, you know, and that's just what it is. Like, I know we can be friends, but just dating hasn't really been a top priority for me because my time isn't there. And then after, you know, becoming a single mom and then walking away from a relationship, I had to heal from that. You know, even if you are doing things for the betterment of yourself in a situation, it still doesn't change the fact that that was a hard thing to do, and that you have emotions that you have to filter through, cycle through. I had to take time to self-reflect, to kind of actually analyze what I really went through and what happened. I had to sit there and think about what role I played in certain things. I had to sit there and think about, okay, why is this happening to me? What am I supposed to learn from this experience? What am I supposed to get from this? Why did I go through this maybe unsavory experience? What am I supposed to gain from that, to take from that, to move on in the future with just my life? Not even move on dating wise, but just my life is who I am. I really didn't go through an identity crisis like I hear some moms say that they did, and some dads too. I was really established as into who I was and what my goals were when I got pregnant. It's just more so having my baby has really motivated me to want to do more and to reach more potentials and to be a better woman so that I'm an even better example for my daughter. But I really just had to go through a healing journey of just filtering through feelings and emotions before I even tried to embark upon a journey with somebody else, because whether you realize it or not, unfinished business, unfinished situations, unresolved business, unresolved situations, even if you are able to function on a day-to-day basis, put on this face like you're cool, you know what I'm saying, you're even able to be around that person without there being an argument, it's still unhashed feelings and situations. So that can come out at any time in a new relationship, and that's not fair to the other party. You know, even if you aren't romantically attached to that person, that doesn't mean you still don't have unresolved emotions about certain things that transpire, certain things that happen, and those need to be addressed if possible, to move on with a completely clean slate with a new party. Because you can suppress issues all day long, you can compartmentalize, put it on this half of your brain and do this over here, but it's like, if you haven't really addressed those issues and done your best to resolve it the best way possible, then like I said, you're risking best to heal as much as possible, work on yourself, and self-reflect, and try to get closure and nip those buds, because then you can move on, like I said, with a clean slate with someone else. You know what I'm saying? A heart now that's willing to be open to someone else and find love, emotional security, all of that, because you've done your work, you've done your shadow work, you've worked on yourself, you've analyzed your triggers, why you feel the way that you feel, and you've literally given yourself a break. And some people can do this and possibly be successful. I just know that doesn't work for me. Jumping from one relationship into another can create confusion. It can also make it harder to resolve those issues, because now you're in a relationship, so it's kind of like awkward to be talking about emotions with an ex and you're in a new relationship. So I kind of feel like if you can resolve those issues before you move on, that would be beautiful, because now you don't have to keep flip-flopping and going back and forth with uncomfortable conversations with someone you're not building with anymore romantically, while trying to romantically build with someone else. So all those things I really took into consideration, because, you know, while I would love to have had my person off rip, that's not the cards that life dealt for me, and that's okay. And I'm just starting to see that everything happens for a reason. I was meant to have my daughter when I had my daughter, and I meant to find my Prince Charming when I found my Prince Charming. And now I can say that I have done a lot of work to be in my healing process. I have done a lot of work to reflect on myself. I have really tightened down on what I do and do not want, my non-negotiables. All of that has come from me and my experience in my last relationship, what I've learned from it, and I've tightened up on some things on my end too, on what I'm going to do moving forward in a relationship to make it more fluent. And I wouldn't have been able to do all of that or come to this point in my life of peace if I would have jumped into another relationship, if I would not have addressed my emotions towards certain situations that transpired in my previous relationship. And I think that it actually has made our co-parenting situation even better, because trust me, I understand when it's difficult to co-parent because you're still upset about certain things that happen, or you wish things would have been different with the outcome of certain situations that happen. Like, I understand how people can feel those type of emotions toward a partner, but unless you're willing to do the work, unless you're willing to try to come to a point of where you look at it differently, you're always going to be stuck in that position. And to be honest, you may not get the closure that you want. Everybody is not going to give you the closure that you need, or even be willing to have a conversation with you. And that is difficult, but you have to find a way to deal with that and find the tools to be able to move on, because you can't hold your happiness up, and you can't really base your happiness off of someone else's response to you. So even if that requires you to go to therapy, if that requires you, you know what I'm saying, to really have a sounding board of friends and family that you can talk to, whatever you need to do to get your mind right, do it. I highly recommend it, because you deserve to be happy. Your baby deserves to have a happy parent. And to be honest, everybody deserves companionship if they're willing to put in the work to be a good companion themselves. We are meant to be with our person. So I just hope that me telling you guys about how I've integrated myself back into the dating world and what I had to do before I feel completely comfortable to do that helps you guys, because it's hard out here. It's really hard, especially when you are the primary parent doing it all. It's hard. I am here to tell you I understand. I see you, and kudos to you for being the primary parent and then doing it with flying colors. Like, it's really hard. So don't feel like you're alone, you are not alone. Dads and moms too. We have to say dads because there are a lot of dads out there that are single dads killing the game. But I see you guys. I want you guys to be happy. I want everybody to find their person. But just work on yourself. Take that time to kind of disconnect from romantic situationships, relationships, so you can really see who you are, what you need, how you can pour into somebody else's cup. Oh, another topic or thing I want to touch on real quick too, that I know for me that has made this process a little bit easier to look forward to, and I know will make things easier for me moving forward, is structure. With baby girl being so little, she doesn't, her time isn't structured. What I mean by that is daycare, for example. Baby girl is not in daycare. So I know that me dating just consistently, like, okay, I know, like, okay, I am able to have this time and this time. I don't have that structure in my calendar because she doesn't have that structure. I know when she goes to daycare, she'll be there from 9 to 3 or something like that. So I have 9 to 3 where my time is my time, my parents' time or is their time, his mom's time is his mom's time, and I'm not having to rely on them extra, because we as parents sometimes fall into either mom guilt or dad guilt, which is where, for me, my mom guilt comes in from the standpoint of my mom is like my husband. She watches my baby while I'm at work, where that would normally be in, you know, situation where you worked it out. The father, you know, stepping in, like, and I say that because I work night shift. So like the way we did it was, I would get off work, he'd go to work, I would keep the baby while he's working, and then switch off. And then on my off days, I was able to help out more with that. And then when he was off, same thing. So basically, my mom stepped in to do that. So I'm already using my mom 3 to 4 nights out the week to watch baby girl. And then if I want to do something for myself, go to the gym, get my nails done, do whatever, I'm having to tap in like, hey mom, you know, can you watch your grandbaby? When really that's what I want to do, just that. I don't want to have to use her to watch my baby. I want to use her as a grandma. Like, hey, I'm going out of town. Can you watch your grandbaby this weekend? Or hey, I'm getting my nails done. Can you come over? So the mom guilt comes into play because I feel like I'm overusing her from the standpoint of like she's always there. Where's her break at? It's almost like she's a secondary parent instead of just being the grandparent. Because she's raised her kids. We're on her own. And I know she doesn't feel like it's a burden because this is her grandbaby. She's prayed for this baby. She's always wanted this grandbaby. And she's told me multiple times it's not a burden. But I can't help but feel that way because of the situation. So I know that when baby girl gets more structure in her life as far as her scheduling, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to have to reach out to people less. And then when I do want to have a consistent dateship situation, I'm going to have more time to do that because I've already knocked out what I need to do in the mornings, kid free, so that in the evenings I'm not pressed as much. I have more time to wiggle around with. So that's another thing too that I want to point out with the time of dating is just developing that structure. And I'm not rushing it because I don't want my baby in daycare until she can, well, she's walking now. I used to say before she could walk and talk. She's walking now, check. But until she could communicate, like Timmy was mean, Monica hit me, the teacher was nice, I don't want to send my baby somewhere that I don't have to. So until she can do that, we're taking baby steps to getting the time that we need to date so we can pour into somebody else. But I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys that are struggling or that are wondering how do you do it, what are key components to trying to figure out if this is the right time to date for you. But no situation is the same. Everybody has different principles on it. Those are just mine and what I found helpful. But if you guys could think of any other advice that may be helpful for someone in that boat trying to figure out when is the best time to kind of get yourself back out there, definitely comment under the video, because I would like to see maybe what other tips you guys have for getting back out there. All right, guys. See y'all later. Enjoy that talk.